Welcome back, everyone. It's the Bourbon Judge. We are back at it with one of the potentially hottest new releases of 2023. Talk about just in the nick of time, like literally. Literally in the nick of time. All right, before we dive into this brand new Found North Peregrine first flight, let's go and give a huge shout out to our newest patrons, my good friend David Haynes, as well as Scott N. So David and Scott, welcome to the Judge family. You guys have already seen a little bit of it, obviously, through Patreon. We always have a blast, no matter if it's in Discord, contests, private live streams. We're doing actually a private live stream, doing a whole bunch of bottle giveaways for my patrons, just to say thank you. Don't worry, we're going to have a 15,000 subscriber live stream giveaway as well very soon. But hey, we always have a lot of fun. So thank you, not only to David and Scott, but as well as all my other patrons as well. Cool? All right. So throughout the year, there's obviously always tons of different new releases, but there are certain new releases that really get the judge excited. And I mean like, like big time excited. This Found North Peregrine is by far, the first flight, is by far one of the few releases this year that, I mean, I was hunting it. I did everything possible to make sure I can get this bottle ASAP. Truly. Took a little bit of work, but it all worked out. All right. So let me give a quick overview of Found North. I reviewed Found North in the past, but essentially it started by two brothers, Nick and Zach Taylor. So Zach Taylor is more like on the operations side. He's more behind the scenes. And Nick Taylor is like kind of like the face of the brand, if you will. He's done a lot of the live streams. Hence, for example, he was actually on my live stream earlier the year. And, you know, ultimately, Nick and Zach, both super cool guys. They are essentially taking and sourcing older Canadian whiskey, but what's really unique about them is that they're taking, like, you know, like a single, let's call it a single group of older rye whiskey, single group or batch, if you will, of older corn whiskey, and then older wheat whiskey. So not always blended, just unique actual grains, single grains, and then they are custom blending them together to create their batches. So think back, they have now, other than this one, they have batch 1 through 8. 8 just got released, and I have not tried 8 as of yet. That, by the way, is on my Christmas list. However, batch 1 through 7, I've either tried them all, some of them I own as well, but I've tried all batch 1 through 7, and I could just tell you, they are hitters. They are hitters. Each and every one is absolutely fantastic. My favorite, probably batch 5, 6, and 7, maybe even equally between those three, because they're just that good. Found North is truly that good. A lot of people are saying that Found North is now the new boutique brand, kind of hanging out with that old Carter, that Forgate kind of realm. I mean, Found North is doing some great stuff. So very interested to see if this brand new Found North Peregrine first flight is another grand slam from the Found North brand. All right, let's get into it. I've already poured it a little bit. Let me just nose it a little bit while we kind of dive into this. I wanted to have a chance to kind of open up a little bit. So what I will say, the Peregrine first flight, this is the first ever 20-year-old age-stated whiskey that they produce. So what that means is that the youngest whiskey in here is aged 20 years. It actually goes all the way up to 27 years. They've had some older whiskey in the past before, you know, like some 18, some 20-year-old, but they also had 8 or 9 or 10 or 12-year whiskey in there. So from an age statement, they always had to put like age 8 years or 9 years or 10 years, even though there was some older whiskey. But this bad boy is flat out the earliest age is 20 years. And again, there's whiskey in here all the way up to 27 years old. 27 years old. That's just crazy. Nick, what are you doing to me, man? This is crazy. All right, so what do we have? So the name, I should say, Peregrine first flight, comes from the Peregrine Falcon. So think of like the Peregrine Falcon. They fly super fast. They obviously can fly super high. So Found North is all about trying to take their whiskey to the next level, right? It's like a continuous journey, always trying to strive to get better. So that's like where the whole name comes from, the Peregrine first flight. That's like the background as a whole. And this, by the way, I should say, is also a brand new collection, the High Altitude Collection, because of the Peregrine Falcon. That's it. Very tricky. I like it. Oh, man. All right. So what do we know about this bad boy? So let me give you the breakdown. Wow, the nose. Oh, my gosh. Wow. this is crazy. This is a fresh crack too. That's the funny part. I haven't poured any of my infinity bottle. So what do we know about the makeup of this overall whiskey? So first and foremost, it's a 20-year-old rye whiskey finished in ex-Speyside Scotch barrels. So yes, not something that the judge is normally a big fan of, the whole Scotch, but it is a 20-year-old rye finished in ex-Speyside Scotch barrels. You also have a 22-year-old corn whiskey finished in new American oak. A 24-year-old corn whiskey finished in ex-bourbon barrels. Okay, we're good there. And then last but not least, a 27-year-old, yes, 27-year-old corn whiskey finished in ex-Hungarian oak. Wow, this is really, really nice. Oh my goodness. So what they did was, at that point, they took all that 20 to 27-year-old whiskey, blended it together for 5 months. And when they blended it together for 5 months, they actually ended up blending it, and then they aged it, I should say, they aged it rather for 5 months in 3 different casks. So first and foremost, French Limousine, American ex-cognac barrels, and last but not least, new American oak. So they blended it together and they aged it for 5 months in those separate 3 different casks. Oh gosh, this is so nice. This is so nice. So what are we talking about, Judge, from an MSRP standpoint? So online, which online, by the way, this sold out like that for $200. That's the MSRP, 200 bucks, and it sold out in seconds. Luckily, and I should say, I did not get this online, and I did not get this from Found North. I went the old school route. I made a connection with one of my local stores, and as soon as I heard this was coming out, when I follow Found North online on Instagram and their newsletter and everything. As soon as I found out it was coming out, I went to my local shop. I did the old school method, and I said, please order this as soon as it comes in. I went every single week. I think I may have bothered them a little bit, the store owner, but honestly, the store owner, he literally, he put in the request as soon as it came in. He grabbed it. He called me. He was like, Judge, it's finally in. Stop bothering me. The bottle's finally in. Come in and grab it. And I paid for it. 200 bucks out the door. All right. Before I get into this nose, which is so lovely, it's just insane. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That nose is just, it's crazy. I should say, after they blended the whiskey and aged it for the 5 months in those 3 different casks, they then took like the best of the best separate, because they aged it in like separate different casks, right? But they took the best 7 casks, and that's what produced the Peregrine First Flight. That was what truly produced the Peregrine First Flight. All right. So what am I getting from the nose? Oh my goodness gracious. So there you got a couple things with this one. It's all over the board. You have a little bit of like a softer apple meets like a golden, softer apple meets like almost like a honey kind of a note. Very subtle, and I mean very subtle baking spices. A ton of oak, and I mean a ton of oak, which is great, right? It's aged 20 to 27 years. You also get a smidge, and I mean just a little bit like that cognac note as well, like the berry kind of note, because of the ex-cognac barrels that they use. So you get a little bit of some berries, some apples, some caramel, some honey. That oak, it just kind of offsets everything in the nose as well. You get like a ton of oak in it as well. A little peppery from the rye, a little peppery. So it's spicy, but it's sweet. It's oaky. It's a little bit of everything. It's like, it's the perfect nose. I mean, damn, it's the perfect nose. All right, time to go ahead and sip this bad boy. Hey, real quick, 3 quick, easy favors. Number 1, hit the like button. Number 2, drop me a comment. Let me know, have you found, that's kind of funny. Have you found North, either batch 8 or in this case, the Peregrine First Flight? Have you found it yourself? And if so, what are your thoughts? And last but not least, please make sure you also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you get notification each and every time I release new content. Fair? All right, here we go to the Peregrine First Flight. Cheers to each and every one of you. Oh man. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Wow. I think I even missed the proof on this bad boy. What is the proof, Judge? So the proof of the mash bill. So the proof is 126.2 proof. 126.2. Before I get to the palate, the mash bill, 76% corn, 23% rye, 1% malted barley. So 76 corn, 23% rye, 1% malted barley. All right. So the palate. I need another sip before I can get to the palate. One more time. Oh my gosh, that nose is amazing. There's like there's an earthy kind of a note in the background, like earthy, oak, caramel, sweet, honey. Oh man, like a berry kind of a note. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is something special. Shit. I'm sorry. This is a special bottle. And I don't mean special, I mean like very, very special. Everything in the nose. What I love about this whiskey is that the oak, because obviously this is whiskey aged anywhere from 20 to 27 years. While it does have a ton of oak, which does come through, by the way, in the palate, it's a long, full body finish, first and foremost. The oak that's in the palate, it's offset by the sweetness of the caramel, the honey, the apples, the berries. That's all kind of offset, sprinkled in with the rye that's in there, right? The pepper kind of notes kind of sprinkled in. I will say the 20-year-old rye that was finished in ex-Speyside Scotch barrels, you really don't get a ton of the Scotch notes. It's a little peppery, but that's obviously, of course, from the rye itself. Not as much probably like the peat, if you will, from the Speyside Scotch. It's not peated in any way at all. This is damn good. So, Judge, obviously it's a buy, but is it really all that and then some? Folks, the verdict is in. This is 3 gavel damn good. Absolutely amazing, and it might just be my #1 whiskey of 2023. Maybe. I have to do it in the blind. It's definitely going to be in the top 10. That's a hands down for sure. Probably even in the top 5. But this might even be the #1 whiskey of 2023. We shall see. I go through a nice little process when I judge my top 5. So we'll see where it ends up ranking. But it is damn good. Absolutely. If you can get a bottle of this, if you can find it anywhere still left online or from your local shop, don't think about buying it. Be about it. Grab it, and did I say grab it? Grab it. Hey, until the next time, peace, cheers, and most important, salute. Nice job, by the way, Nick. Cheers, guys.